Almost everyone knows someone who's given birth. I mean, that's how you got here. But almost no one tells you how big of a need there is in this space. And I bet you never even considered it. Birth is a universal human experience. We all had it happen. That's how we're here. And most of us have probably known somebody recently that's given birth. And if you haven't, that's real. Something that most people don't realize about the birth space is how much need there is and how much space there is for new people to enter it. I'm about to share some numbers. They're not the most pleasant things to hear, but I think we need to hear them because they matter. And I'm so appreciative that the March of Dimes tracks all this information because it helps us to see where their problems are and ways that we can fix it. And they just do amazing work. One third of US counties, that's about 35%, are what we call maternity deserts. Maternity deserts are when there's no birthing facility, no obstetric clinician around. That's 1,104 counties. And 47% of those counties don't have a single OBGYN. And nearly 62% don't have a nurse midwife. That's crazy. I mean, like, what is going on here? That's over 2.3 million people of reproductive age and 150,000 babies that are affected by this. This literally shows up in real life. I personally know how this feels because I lived in a small town where there was basically only two people that could provide care. And I learned very quickly that even though I was high risk, I technically wasn't high risk compared to some of the other people within my city. And when we called another hospital that was about like 30 minutes north of us, they were like, we don't even have really a facility. So I had to drive 45 minutes into the biggest city that there was in that area. It proves to me that I know personally how this feels of having to be concerned about health problems and having to then be stressed, seeing stars, and have to drive 45 minutes just to be seen. That's realistically happening right now. People are driving between an hour to 38 minutes just to reach a birthing facility. And imagine having to do that in active labor. I'm not saying all this stuff to scare you. I'm saying this to show you that there is a literal need for people to join this space. Out there looking for someone to help them, and you could be the person that might be there to help them. I feel like right now it's that part of that commercial with the "in the arms of an angel," and you just like want to reach through and you just want to like give everybody a hug. That's how I feel right now. I just want to give everyone a hug because those numbers make me emotional because that's I know it personally and you don't want that. So let's keep going. Why this field is so special and unique? Because birth ain't going anywhere, honey, ever. So it can't be automated. It ain't about to be offshore, and it's definitely not going to be obsolete. This field, unlike many, is going to stay forever, or at least I hope so. So that's rare, and that's something that's valuable. It's useful. And this is where we're going to get into like the positive, exciting parts about working in this field. There's already a lot of people in this field making big changes. I'm connected to a lot of them. I am out here rooting for them. Insert the Tyra, we were all rooting for you, but except everybody's following through. So I don't have to be angry when I say it. Or that other video where she's crying and she's like, yes. Anyway, I say that to say that there are so many positive shifts and amazing things happening within the birth world. For instance, the National Health Law Program are currently tracking the doula Medicaid programs. And there are now 26 states and Washington, D.C. that are supporting doulas to get paid by Medicaid. And what's crazy, the mind boggling thing about this was back in 2020, there were only two states, Oregon and Minnesota, that were actively letting doulas use Medicaid. And now it's 26 states in Washington, D.C. Don't forget about Washington, D.C. That's amazing. That's like, imagine that's how much growth has happened in the last, oh my gosh, 6 years. Imagine how much the space is going to continue to grow with people like you filling it up. By far, this is not a field that is falling or waning or dropping. We are on a trajectory of promise and opportunities. I personally come from corporate marketing. I've worked for startup tech companies, an international development company, and I currently work for a perinatal mindfulness nonprofit. I've been all types of places, but after becoming pregnant and becoming a mom and just seeing the disparities that were here, even with this upswing, I was like, we need more people. We need more people like you because we can't keep having this happen. You're probably wondering, okay, what are some options for me with joining this space? you could become a doula, and the doula world is so robust. There are so many options that you can have, whether that's being a prenatal doula, birth doula, postpartum doula, a death doula. You don't need clinical experience, you don't need a medical background. You just need a certification from an accrediting body or organization, and you can get started. What's great is there's so many classes out there that can support you to be able to care for people in different journeys and experiences. There's a lot of opportunity with becoming a doula. There's also things like a childbirth educator, a lactation consultant, a midwife, and there's two paths to becoming a midwife. There's also hidden jobs that you could have, like being a birth photographer, a placenta specialist, a sleep consultant, a prenatal yoga teacher, pelvic floor therapist, a neonatal nurse. There's also the sleeper jobs within this field that I feel like people aren't talking about, which is being a marketer, admin help, running a business side of things for someone so that they can focus on the practice and you can focus on getting people through the door. I know I just told you so many positive things about how the space is shifting for the greater and there's all these job opportunities, but I also want to come with some awareness of reality, which is this can be quite demanding. Depending on your role in this space, there's a lot that calls from you, which includes unpredictable hours and having to be ready at any moment because none of us can control what's going to happen with the birth. There's also a lot of emotional demand for this because we are with people in some of the highest vulnerable moments of their life. I feel like people tend to burn out, but I don't always feel like it's because of the role that they're doing. It's from having to try to manage everything in one. That could be managing the money, managing your business, managing the graphics, managing everything. And then on top of that, supporting and serving your clients and home life. That's a lot. The great thing about this is it's fixable. You can get help, whether that's asking someone for support or gathering more information that allows you to feel more confident and competent doing some of these roles. Because at the end of the day, even though I left this space because I didn't know enough and because I didn't have the right resources and support, doesn't mean that you have to have that same situation happen to you. And I don't want it to happen to you. Let's work together to make sure that you don't go down the same path as me. If you've ever been a little curious about this, or you've been in this industry for 10 plus years, I have a webinar that I'm going to be doing that's going to be talking about applying for Medicaid as a doula and also how you apply for third party insurances. Because if you can't get the Medicaid, there might be some insurances that'll work with you. There's options out here, and there's also programs that are being implemented. It might not necessarily be the state implementing them, but someone else who's supporting people to be able to use these tools. You can sign up, and if you join the webinar or register for it, you get a free guide that explains how to do everything that you possibly would need to do to get this all set up. And that'll also be for free. So sign up for the webinar now. Link is below. And with that, one quick win that you could do right now is check out on March of Dimes if you live in an OB desert. And if you do, also look up if you are in a state that provides Medicaid to doulas. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, something that just popped in my head is if you are a midwife and you live in an OB desert, you might be able to apply for some of those benefits. Those are some things that you can do. You can always like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. And until the next time, I hope we talk soon. Bye.